Welcome to Betrayal Affairs, where stories of love, trust, and loyalty unravel in the most unexpected ways. This isn't just another confession, this is the story of how my world was split in two, and how one decision still haunts me to this day. So sit back, turn off the distractions, and listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will challenge what you believe about family and forgiveness. My name is Mia. I was born and raised in a quiet town in Virginia. You know the type: tree-lined streets, kids riding bikes until dusk, neighbors chatting over fences, and a sense of stillness in the air that made the world feel safe. It was the kind of town where everything seemed predictable. I grew up in a modest 3-bedroom home with my parents. My mother was the heart of the house, a warm, affectionate woman who always seemed to be in motion. She hummed while making pancakes in the morning, brushed my hair with gentle fingers, and whispered words of comfort when the world felt too loud. Her laughter could fill a room, and her presence made everything feel okay. My father, on the other hand, was a man of few words. He wasn't cold, just reserved. His love came through action, through long hours at work, fixing things around the house, and making sure we never went without. He wasn't the type to say "I love you" out loud, but somehow, I always knew he did. Our life wasn't luxurious, but it was steady, dependable, and full of love. Every memory from that time is tinted with a golden glow. Sunday dinners, board games, the way my mother danced in the kitchen when her favorite song came on. I thought it would last forever, but then everything changed. I was 15 when my mother suddenly fell ill. It started with what seemed like fatigue. She brushed it off as nothing, just stress, she said. But within weeks, it escalated. Hospital visits, tests. The look on the doctor's face when he delivered the news that made my father clutch the edge of the counter to stay upright. It happened so fast, I didn't have time to process it. One day, she was making tea and laughing at one of my stories. The next, she was gone. And with her, the light in our house vanished. The silence that followed her death was unbearable. My father tried to stay strong, but grief turned him into a ghost of the man he once was. We lived together in the same space, but emotionally we drifted apart. Meals became quiet. Mornings felt heavy. The house, once full of warmth, became cold and sterile. I missed her in 1,000 little ways. Her voice, her hugs, the way she knew exactly when I needed her. And more than anything, I missed the version of myself that only existed when she was alive. 3 years later, on the eve of my 18th birthday, my father told me he was seeing someone. Her name was Claire. She worked at a local community center and had this calm, graceful presence. I should have been happy for my father. I knew he was lonely. I knew he missed having someone to share the little things with. But hearing that he was ready to move on, while I still clung to every memory of my mother, made my stomach turn. Claire moved in a few months later. She wasn't cruel or intrusive. In fact, she was kind. She tried, gently, to make the transition easier. She cooked meals, smiled warmly, and gave me space. But kindness doesn't erase pain. Her presence in the home my mother had built felt like a violation, even if she didn't deserve that judgment. Claire had a son, Alex. He was 17, a year younger than me, and like me, he was quiet, polite, hesitant. We were two strangers suddenly sharing a home and a title we didn't ask for, step-siblings. At first, we barely spoke. Just a few awkward greetings in the hallway or short exchanges during dinner. But over time, something shifted. Not dramatically, not all at once, just slowly. We started talking more, sharing moments here and there, helping each other with chores, watching the same shows in the living room. He wasn't like other guys I knew. He was thoughtful, he listened, and there was a softness in him I didn't expect. Then the glances started. Not the kind you exchange with family. These were different, longer, heavier. Sometimes I caught him looking at me when he thought I wasn't paying attention. And sometimes I looked back. I told myself it was nothing. Just a strange new dynamic. I tried to brush it off, push the thoughts away. But my body betrayed me. Every time he entered a room, I felt my pulse quicken. I hated that feeling. I hated that I didn't hate it enough. One evening, while our parents chatted in the kitchen, Alex and I sat on opposite ends of the couch, a safe distance apart. We were watching something, some romance drama neither of us really cared about. But we weren't watching the screen. We were watching each other. The tension was suffocating. And then, one night, everything changed. It was late. I had just turned off my lamp and settled into bed when I heard footsteps outside my door. Light, cautious. The knob turned slowly. Alex peeked in. This wasn't the first time he had done this. Sometimes he'd stop by to talk about school or vent about something small. But that night felt different. He stood there, silent, as if waiting for permission. I nodded. He came in and sat beside me. We talked, quietly, nervously, our voices barely above a whisper. I remember laughing at something he said, not because it was funny, but because I needed something to cut through the tension. Then, silence. We just looked at each other. And in the stillness of that moment, he leaned in. I didn't stop him. His kiss was hesitant at first, testing the waters. But then it deepened, grew urgent, desperate. Like something he'd been holding back for months had finally burst through. And I let it happen. What we did that night felt both inevitable and impossible. It was wrong. We both knew it. But we didn't stop. The next morning, we didn't speak of it. But we didn't have to. Everything had changed. A line had been crossed, and neither of us could pretend otherwise. From that point on, our lives became a balancing act. By day, we were siblings, chores, dinners, casual conversations around our parents. By night, we were something else entirely. He'd sneak into my room. We'd whisper, touch, lose ourselves in a connection we didn't understand. I hated the secrecy, the shame, but I couldn't walk away. Eventually, I started taking birth control. I didn't even tell him. I just knew I had to be careful. What we had was unsustainable, unreal, but addictive. And then life intervened. Alex graduated high school and was accepted into a college several hours away. The night before he left, we lay in my bed in silence, just holding each other. I think we both knew it was the end of something, or maybe just the pause. After he left, I fell into a kind of emotional hibernation. I focused on college, on work, on rebuilding myself. For the first time in years, I tried to think like a normal person again. That's when I met Daniel. He was charming, confident, a business owner who had built his own hair salon from the ground up. Our paths crossed at a marketing event. He noticed me immediately, said I had eyes that looked like I was hiding secrets. I laughed, too loudly. But he wasn't wrong. Daniel was everything I didn't realize I needed. With him, I didn't have to pretend. He made me feel grounded, safe, loved. We dated, fell in love, married. We have a child now, a beautiful, curious little girl who's inherited my stubbornness and his quiet determination. Our life is good, peaceful, happy even. But sometimes when I watch him playing with our daughter, I feel a lump in my throat, a knot in my stomach. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't know what I did. He doesn't know who I once was. There are nights when I lie awake next to him, wondering if I should tell him. Part of me aches, to be honest. But the other part, terrified. What if he leaves? What if I ruin everything? What if the man who looks at me like I'm the most precious thing he's ever held suddenly sees me as a stranger? I carry this secret like a second skin, always there, always heavy. Sometimes I wonder if Alex still thinks about me. We haven't spoken in years. We never said goodbye properly. It's like we pressed pause and never hit play again. But deep down, I know that chapter is over. And yet, I'm haunted by it. Because it wasn't just a mistake. It was a part of me. A version of myself I can never fully erase. I don't know what the right thing to do is. And maybe that's why I'm telling this story here, because I need someone to hear it, to understand it, to maybe guide me. If you were in my place, what would you do? Would you tell your partner the truth, even if it meant risking everything you've built? Or would you keep it buried, a memory locked away in a box you hope no one ever opens? I want to believe that love forgives, that time heals, that people change. But guilt doesn't go away so easily. So tell me, what would you do? Because I'm still standing at that crossroads, and I don't know which path to take.